Good evening. We'll start off with our Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Elroy, would you lead us in the pledge and to follow a moment of silence? Okay, item 1.3, opening comments. Superintendent Ms. Trosclair.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. On Monday, LPSS students in grades 8 and 12 returned to daily in-person learning. It is because of the hard work of our students, educators, and staff in adhering to mitigation measures that COVID-19 transmission in schools remains low, and we are able to slowly transition students back to daily in-person instruction. While we must remain diligent in our efforts to curb the spread, we are pleased to welcome these students back to campus and look forward to the day all students will be face-to-face as learning environments. The Child Welfare and Attendance Department would like to remind all students, whether they attend school in person, virtually, or hybrid, that compulsory school attendance laws require that students are in regular attendance. As a reminder, in order for students to be rewarded with privileges for a driver's license or permit, students must not be considered truant. A reminder to this year's graduating students, the Louisiana State Department of Education has not waived any requirements for graduation, including end-of-course testing. In order to graduate, all requirements must be met and also include Jump Start students earning the required credentials relating to their specific Jump Start pathway and completing the FOSFA free application for federal student aid. Parents and students are strongly encouraged to communicate with their school counselor regarding their grades, credits, and graduation requirements. District administration is pleased to announce that 15 aspiring leaders have been selected for the second cohort of our Leadership Institute. Of the 25 educators that participated in last year's program, 12 were promoted to leadership roles within our district. We have found this program to be an effective means to provide mentorship and inspire success, while helping educators achieve professional career growth. The Career and Technical Education Department is excited to announce the expansion of 2 career programs at the W.D. and Mary Baker Smith Career Center. Certifications that will be available for students to earn include plumbing, HVAC, and pipe fitting. We anticipate offering these classes in the fall of 2022. The second is an expansion to our medical program and was created in response to an urgent need for qualified healthcare professionals. This fall, LPSS high school juniors and seniors will be able to take classes to become emergency medical technicians, patient care technicians, and medical assistants. These are incredible opportunities, and we encourage interested students to check out these programs. We have formally announced the 21-22 Teacher of the Year for elementary, middle, and high schools. Recipients include Corporal Michael Middlebrook Elementary School, 5th grade ELA and Social Studies teacher, Miss Erica Cornet. Acadian Middle School, 5th through 7th grade Math, Science, Social Studies, and Health teacher, Miss Charity Turpo. And Lafayette High School, 9th grade English teacher, Miss Kara Rutherford. Congratulations to all of these outstanding teachers. The district also announced recently our 2021 Student of the Year winners. They are DeRoss James Jr., 5th grader at Corporal Michael Middlebrook Elementary School, Lillian Jerwa, 8th grader at Edgar Martin Middle School, and Patrick Chu, senior at Lafayette High School. These students were chosen to represent their school at the district level competition and will now advance to the regional level of competition. Congratulations and good luck to you all. In honor of Black History Month, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge a part of the Lafayette Parish School Board's history. Our first Black female board president, 2021 board president, Ms. Mary Morrison. Congratulations, Ms. Morrison, and this concludes my opening remarks.
Thank you, Ms. Troxclair. Appreciate that. Okay. Our next item is item 1.4, Introduction of Lafayette Police Department Chief Glover. Mr. Broussard.
Madam President, I don't see Chief Glover in the audience, although I got a phone call from City Marshal Thomas. He's running a little bit late. He has a 5:30 program. He's running a little bit late. So I asked that when both of them come, that we break from the agenda and allow them a few minutes to introduce themselves. If it's okay.
Yes, sir. That's
Thank you.
fine. Okay, so we'll move over to litigation. Item 2.1, discussion and or action concerning prospective litigation. Item 1.2 and 2.2, I would like to entertain a motion to go into executive session. Okay, I have agreement, Mr. Lachelet and then Mr. Angel. Everyone in favor? Okay, ayes have it. We'll go into executive session at this time. Okay. I move that the board go into executive session to discuss the prospective litigation in two separate matters in the light of formal written demand received in each.
Yeah.
I'd like to entertain a motion to go into regular session.
So moved.
Okay. I have. Mrs. Santani,
Second.
and then we have the approval by Mr. Lachele. Yes. Okay, all in favor? Okay. Mrs. Santani,
Madam President, I move that the board approve the recommendation of the third-party administrator.
Second.
okay, we have approval by Mr. Santani and a second by Mr. Lachele. All board members in favor? Yeah. Any public comment? Okay. It's not up yet. Tommy, did you vote?
Eight for, none against.
Okay, motion approved. Okay, moving on to our information items. Item 3.1, Employee Services, Personnel Changes, February 3rd, 2021. Ms. Gardner and Mr. Mouton. Item 3.2, Facilities, Monthly Facilities Updates. Mr. Guidry, Mr. Borderlaw.
Good evening, members of the board. Kyle Bordelon, Director of Planning and Facilities. Included in your agenda packet is the monthly construction update. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them at this time.
Mr. Broussard.
Mr. Bourneau, it's nothing pertaining to the package that you gave us, but I just want to say I visited Alice Boucher, and I think we are 99% complete. Are we complete?
We are complete. The contractor's working on a few punch list items, so that's all that's remaining.
It looks great. I mean, they've done a job far beyond my imagination. It looks in the added bathroom. And I suggest that the door leading from the old hallway to the new restroom, it'd be glass so they can see who is back there. They still got the iron doors, and they wasn't decided what they're going to do, keep the iron doors there or not. But it'd be glass so the chiefs or the principal, whoever can see who's in that bathroom is sealed off. That's a suggestion. But it looks great, and the fact that it came in with, within the money that we allocated for it, it's a feather in your head, even though we don't say much about that, but came in within budget. But on the other hand, the money I loan you to take care of some other business, in a few years, I'm gonna need it back. All right.
I'll see what I can do.
All right.
Ms. Mason?
Thank you. Mr. Bordelon, I love all the pictures you've included in the report. It makes it very clear what good work is being done. I did want to ask, have we gotten all of the storm damage cleaned up now? Like, are there still lingering projects? Like, let's see, in District 8 at Woodvale, one of the playgrounds was still in need of repair. I haven't checked this week. Do you know, can you give me an update on those?
There are still some lingering items. The contractor who represents that manufacturer of that playground equipment that you're referring to, he was supposed to be in town, I think it was late last week, to make an assessment of the equipment and see what he can obtain, because that piece of equipment is a few years old, and sometimes the parts are available and sometimes they're not. So he was in the process of checking to see what parts are available, and to give us a price on on what he can do to repair it.
So with the price, we don't have insurance that covers any of the storm damage?
We have insurance, but we have like $1 million deductible, and even with everything across the parish totaled up, we're not going to be close to that.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have one more question. I got to see the Broadmoor campus outside and noticed that the new wing is totally finished, looks beautiful. But the area behind the building is full of dirt. It's just a dirt pile. Is it possible to, and they're having mud issues and that sort of thing, is it possible to get sod to finish out that project, or?
I'll have to check and see what kind of
Okay.
funds are left available. I mean, we can probably at least get some grass seed to put out there, and at least get some grass started.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mr. Lachele?
Mr. Bordelon, I see Scott Middle was due to complete December 30th. New projection for completion is the 16th, which is another 2 weeks. Is that still on?
According to the contractor, yes, sir.
So has this project gone smooth? You've heard grumblings here, there, and everywhere. Just want to know.
No, the answer to your question is no, sir, it has not. There's been a lot of bumps along the way. We've had some challenges, and we're still working with those challenges now.
Okay. 'Cause you hear things, and I'm not going to go into specifics, but so it will be completely functional in 2 weeks? I mean,
I can't guarantee that, but sometime soon. The contractor's in the process of working on floors, final painting. As soon as the floors are completed in the kitchen area, they're going to start bringing in the cooking equipment and hooking it up. And once he says it's completed, architects and engineers will walk through the building, make punch lists, make sure everything's functional, and once it is at a point of completion where we can move in and start using it, then we will coordinate with the school and the food service department to move over.
all right, sir, appreciate it.
Mrs. Centanni?
Mr. Bordelon, I would appreciate, I think it'd be helpful for all of us if whenever this project has been officially closed, if you distributed to us your closeout report on lessons learned, what went wrong, who was at fault, what is our opinion of the work that was done on this project. I think this would be an excellent first pass at some new process here. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to item 3.3, finance. Okay, list of purchases made pursuant to federal and state emergency declaration provisions. Mr. Guidry, Ms. Francis.
Yes, this is our reporting for the month of December and January. I think December we opted not to include it on the January agenda, so we're including both months. And we're providing this information as a request from a board member and to keep the whole board informed of the purchases we're making along the lines of PPE type supplies and equipment.
Do we have any questions, board members? Okay, so we'll move on to item 3.4, warehouse auction of surplus equipment and supplies. Mr. Guidry, Ms. Millard.
So, on December 11th, the board approved or declared our surplus equipment, furniture, and fixtures as obsolete and approved it for it to be discarded. So we had our first online auction and chose not to include all of the equipment because we wanted to basically work out the wrinkles in the process, since this was the first time that we were not only using an online auction, but it was the first time we were using that vendor. The online auction was a success in terms of there were very few issues that came up, and so we want to proceed with selling or putting on auction the remainder of the equipment that the board approved. And typically, when we have an auction, the auditors are looking for board approval. So since the board had already approved it, we just wanted to include it as an information item that this will be phase 2 or round 2 of the online auction to get rid of what the board had approved or declared excess in December. So that will be taking place in the month of March. So it's just an information item that second online auction should take care of the remainder of the equipment that the board declared excess at its December meeting.
Okay, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Board members, I'll read.
Madam President, if I may interrupt for a moment.
Oh, okay.
The police chief and the marshal has come in. May we interrupt the agenda to have them come in and introduce themselves and
Sure.
say a few words of encouragement.
Welcome, Mr. Glover and Mr. Thomas. Mr. Glover, would you like to?
Right here, like it's already on, it's right there for you.
I want to apologize for my arrival, but in this job, things happen every day that throw you off schedule, and I had to deal with a video a moment ago that involves the Lafayette PD, so you may see it, you may not. But it's probably the first visual attack that I'll get as the chief of police for this job. A customer was not satisfied with how we handled a complaint. So with that said, I want to say good evening to everybody in the room. I love the city. I'm exceedingly glad to be here. I hope to be here a long time. It is a wonderful city. I'll probably gain 50 pounds here because every 5 seconds and every shopping center I go in has 5 to 6 restaurants. I'm originally a native of Louisiana, born and reared in Tallulah, Louisiana, which is the northeast corner, the last city you hit going into Mississippi. And I left the state over 40 years ago, and now I tell everybody I'm back home. I'm looking forward to working with every stakeholder in this parish and in this city. And one thing that I do hope that the school board will join me in is I'm very interested in starting a junior police academy whereby we identify young men and women in the same manner that professional sports teams do. They start looking at baseball pitches when they're doing coach pitch and t-ball and elementary baseball, and by the time they get to be 18 or 19, they go into the majors or the minors or whatever, and then they are professional baseball players. I want to do the same thing in this city and in this community with the great children that we have and try to steer them toward careers in law enforcement. It is a great career that I love, and I've been involved in law enforcement. In the next 3 months, end of May, it'll be 40 years. So with that said, I learned from Marcia Thomas that I get 5 minutes on the mic and that's it. So thank you for having me. I'm, again, glad to be here, and I look forward to meeting you all and working with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Glover. Mr. Angel?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Chief, I want to tell you, first of all, you do not need to apologize. No apology is necessary. Second of all, you can come here anytime in my book. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Great Louisiana welcome.
Madam President, may I say?
Yes, ma'am. Ms.
Chief.
Hanson?
Chief, Hannah Mason. I just wanted to say I've seen a marked change in our school zones. In my district, at District 8, the police presence has been incredible. It has slowed down the traffic. We have lots of walkers in our neighborhood, and your police have been everywhere. And I'm just so thankful. So I just personally wanted to say thank you.
End of this month, early March, we run a major traffic safety campaign. You'll see a lot more. So,
Thank you.
school zones will be identified as areas that, particularly if there's construction in a school zone, will be seeing a great presence. So,
Maybe one thing I would love your help with, I'd love to get these signs from the traffic department that say, cars must stop for pedestrians, because it seems that our town does not seem to understand that if there's a child waiting to cross, they're supposed to stop. So I would love your help in getting those. Yes, for sure. And my grandmother grew up in Hunter's Bend, right outside of Tallulah, so from the same area. Thank you.
Mr. Broussard?
Chief, we have never met. I am the one who made the phone call to invite you to this school board meeting. And to your desire for the athletic program, we have got one of the best athletic program in the country as far as working with youth from age 7 to 18 to go from Little League to whatever else they want to do at the next level. I've been involved with youth athletics for about 40 years. And if you look at the resume for Louisiana athletics, we've got one of the best. So yet I would encourage you to get with Parks and Recreation more, but specifically Walter Guillory, who's doing an excellent job. We just had our Louisiana-Texas football championship, well attended. It was a great time, and we do lots. Every Saturday is basketball all over the city. Baseball is going to start next month. All the parks will be filled. So take a look at our athletic program and join in with us, and glad to have you aboard. But
we had the press conference the day y'all gave it.
Yes.
But I was out of town taking care of moving from Texas up here, so I couldn't do it. But I will follow up on that.
Okay. One other thing before you exit, in this room, we've set in history with the first black female board president, the superintendent mentioned earlier, the first black police chief, and the first black city marshal. So this, as we strive to do history throughout the city of Lafayette, we would never be complete until we say the next police chief, the next city marshal. If we erase the first black, and then we moving forward if we say the next. Thank you.
Mr. Thomas?
Hi, I'm Reggie Thomas. Most people, I look around the room, pretty much I know most people, 30 years at the Lafayette Police Department. And I laugh because he gets all the questions now. And when I was the chief, I get the question. It feels so good being an elected official at the city marshal's office. And I get very limited questions, which is a good thing. Myself and the chief is working together on many things. You'll see both departments coming together like never before. And I think that's really something great for the city of Lafayette. As the chief, I knew I worked with the school board, with the SRO programs, and even back when we had DARE. So it was something that we, at the city police, we work, and they continue to work with SROs, and they have a great SRO program because I started it. But I just want to thank you guys for and everybody for giving us an opportunity to come in front of you to just say that we want to work with the school board, not only just the police department and the marshal's office. We want to work with the school board. So when we bring all departments together, we're stronger, and that's what we want to do. I learned that I allow the chief to go first now because I don't have to talk too long no more. And once he goes, then I get up and I say what I need to say. But thanks again, and Mr. Broussard, I really appreciate you reaching out to us and having us come over to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for having us. You'll see us around, and we'll be working with the school board. We want to work with the school board, and we want to do things in Lafayette that has never been done before. And I love the new ideas, because when we don't get ideas, we pretty much get still and we stay in the same place. So I'm looking forward to his 40 years. I have 30 years, so I think I don't know if I can even add that high, but I think that working together, I think we're going to do a great job. And with the school board behind us, I think everybody's working together. This will be a great team. So we look forward to working with y'all. And thanks again, Mr. Broussard and everybody for having us today.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas and Mr. Glover.
Mr. Thomas, one thing.
Mr. Broussard?
You mentioned that you wanted to start a mentoring program. I would sometime we want to reinvent the wheel. As you're aware of, and we said in a couple of meetings, we do have a mentoring program. You said in the meeting there's a professor from UL, Mr. Cotton, myself, the mayor of Sunset, and your pastor, Corey Young. We started a mentoring program some 10, 15 years ago, and we would be glad to work with you, or you work with us with partnerships and so to continue our mentoring program that we do have in place, and not to develop another one, but to help one another grow. So I would appreciate it if we get with Pastor Corey Young and myself and the mayor and the professor and the attorney and the deacon and get it ball rolling.
And I would love to do that, and I will reach out to you. That is one thing that I want to use my platform to mentor. I come from a family. I didn't have a father when I was born and when I was raised. So it's something that's close to my heart, and it's something that I think I can do at the marshal's office with the number of offices that I have and the platform that I have right now. So I will be reaching out to you, and I agree. Let's not start from scratch. Let's just make it bigger. So I'm all for it. I'll be reaching out to you. Thank you.
Thanks again, Mr. Thomas and Mr. Glover. Thank you. Okay, so board members, we are going to move to our consent agenda. I will read each items that are pulled, and the items that are not pulled will go into a vote. So I'll start with item 1.4, discussion and or action concerning approval of the assignment of an architectural firm to the Acadiana High School capital project. Item 4.2, discussion and or action concerning resolution 0221-1998, Black History Month. Ms. Troxclair, Mr. Broussard, Ms. Morrison, and Mr. Sashaw. Okay, item 4.3, discussion and or action concerning approval of the assignment of an architectural firm to the Karen Crow Middle School capital budget. Mr. Angel. Okay. 4.4, administration, discussion and or action concerning summer operating hours and work schedule. Ms. Troxclair, Touchette, Gardner. 4.5, Associate Superintendent, discussion and or action concerning resolution 0221-197, National School Counseling Week, Troxclair, Touchette, Abear, and I'll go ahead and pull item 4.5.
Pull it, please.
Okay. Item 4.6, Facilities, discussion and or action concerning approval of an RFQ for the feasibility study for Truman Early Childhood Center. 4.6. Okay, 4.7, Facilities, discussion and or action concerning approval of quotes for S.J. Montgomery Elementary intercom replacement. Item 4.8, Facilities, discussion and or action concerning approval of quotes for Catherine Drexler Elementary Matching Funds Project Digital Sign. Item 4.9, Finance, discussion and or action concerning the sales tax collection report for December 2020. Item 4.10, Finance, discussion and or action concerning the grant fund summary for January 2021. Item 4.11, Finance, discussion or action concerning budget to actual report for January 2021. 4.12, Finance, ratification of bid award grafting calculators for Gear Up, bid 28-21. Item 4.13, Finance, discussion and or action concerning approval of bid award Chromebooks and calculators for Southside High School. Item 4.14, Risk Management, discussion and or action concerning policy BCAD, meeting via electronic means during a gubernatorially declared disaster of emergency. Item 4.15, Risk Management, discussion and or action concerning policy BCBG, voting method at board meetings. Item 4.16, Superintendent, discussion and or action concerning the minutes of January 6, 2021. I'll entertain a motion for all items not pulled.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Angel and a second by Mr. Lachele. Any comments from the public? Any comments from the board? Mr. Angel?
I just want to make a comment. I read earlier today or yesterday that there's a lot of money coming in. This is statewide. I mean, not what this figure that's not the town. I just want to make sure that we're spending this money that's coming in from. I'm sorry. This article I read on the paper today or yesterday concerning money coming in. There's been a lot of it that hasn't been spent yet. Statewide, I'm speaking of, and I just want to make sure that we're, in sync with where we're supposed to be in terms of what's being spent, because there's more coming.
So, on the first stimulus funding, it was basically a two-year project, a two-year cycle. So, not knowing that there would be a second round, we were focused on the one-to-one components for our students, technology, and also professional development for virtual instruction. Now that we know that there's a second round, we'll move forward with basically the second half, roughly the second half of the first round of funding. We were addressing our needs, but at the same time being a little conservative, because not knowing if there would be additional funding. So we'll be able to start moving along at a quicker pace on that first round now that we know we have more funding coming. So that was the reason. It was just being a little cautious, but we have spent roughly about half over the first year. So we're pretty much on course to finish up over the two-year cycle for the first round.
And Mr. Tommy, we're set to receive on or about March 1st, the 50% of the next allocation, and the second allocation January of 2022, and have 2 years as well to spend that money.
Thank you. Thank you very much, both of you.
Any other board comment? I'll go ahead and entertain a vote for all items not pulled.
Seven for, one against.
Motion approved. First item pulled is item 4.2, board discussion and or action concerning resolution 221-1998, Black History Month. Mr. Broussard. A motion by Mr.
Motion to
Broussard.
approve. Motion to approve and to read.
Second. Second by Ms. Angel. Mr. Broussard.
You wanna read? Lafayette Parish School Board, Resolution 02-21-1998, whereas the children of each community are our nation's greatest resources, and whereas our idea as a nation has been and continues to be in the pluribus unum, out of many comes one, and whereas the Lafayette Parish School Board believes that students should be educated for life in a diverse society, and whereas the Lafayette Parish School Board strives to ensure educational equality for citizens, especially minority students, and whereas African Americans have made numerous and significant contributions to the nation and the world, and whereas February has been designated nationally as Black History Month to provide an opportunity for all Americans to deepen their understandings of the African American experience, and now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lafayette Parish School Board does hereby proclaim February 1st through 28th, 2021 as Black History Month, and that the schools are urged to observe this proclamation through appropriate activities which focus on this year's theme of the Black family, representations, identity, and diversity, and assist all students in gaining a great understanding of the contribution which African Americans have made and continue to make toward improving society. Certified by the superintendent.
Any comments from the public?
Madam President, I move that the board adopt resolution 02-21-1998, recognizing Black History Month.
Okay. A motion by Mrs. Santani and a second by Mr. Latchley. Okay, I'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Eight for, none against.
Motion approved. Next item pulled. Item 4.5, that'll be discussion or action concerning resolution 02-21-1997, National School Counseling Week. We have an adoption by Mr. Angel,
Second.
second by Mr. Lachele, and then I'll go ahead and read it.
Mr. Angel, could you read the motion that you made, please?
Sure.
And I'll stand by the second.
The motion is discussion and/or action concerning Resolution 02-21, 1997, National School Counseling Week. I made the motion to approve it. I think you second.
National School Counseling Week. Whereas the American School Counselor Association sponsors the National School Counseling Week to focus public attention on the unique contribution of professional school counselors within all school systems. And whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development. And whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children. And whereas school counselors are recognized for implementing the comprehensive school counseling program, which is such a vital part of the educational process for all students as they meet the challenges of the 21st century. Therefore, let's see, we can get this down here. Therefore, to be it duly resolved that the Lafayette Parish School Board does hereby designate the week of February 1st through the 5th, 2021 as National School Counseling Week. Okay, I'll take the vote to approve. Any public comment? Any board comment? Okay, I'll entertain a vote.
Eight for, none against.
Motion approved. Okay, that was the last item. Any other further business? If not, I'll adjourn the meeting.